Welcome back, learner. Myself, Dr. Vinita Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, RGSC, Banaras Hindu University. Welcome you all with the course Rudimentary Principle and Practices of Managerial Economics, Module 11, Lecture number 54 with the topic Monopoly. In the previous lecture, we had studied about the monopoly equilibrium in short run and in long run. In today's session, we are going to discuss the various topics such as difference between perfect competition and monopoly, concept and definition of discriminating monopoly, causes of price discrimination, types of price discrimination, conditions for price discrimination. Difference between perfect competition and monopoly. As you know, perfect competition is one extreme market, monopoly is another extreme market. So, today we are going to discuss about the differences between the perfect competition and the monopoly. As you know that perfect competition is a market where there is large number of buyers and seller selling the homogeneous product, and in this the price is being determined by the industry through the intersection of demand and supply curve, and the firm just has to accept and sell the good whatever is the price decided by the industry. And in monopoly, it is the firm who actually decide the price for the commodity, because under monopoly there is only one seller selling the commodity whose no close substitute is available in the market. So, starting with the first point of difference is, that is buyer and seller. In perfect competition, there is large number of buyers and seller. So, there is large number of buyer as well as large number of seller. But in monopoly, there is large number of buyers and single seller, firm and industry. In perfect competition, firm and industry are two different components, but that means firm are different and industry are different. But in monopoly, firm and industry are same, because in monopoly it is the single seller. So, that single seller, that single firm itself constitute the industry. Price taker or price maker. As you know that in perfect competition, it is the industry who actually decide the price at which the other firm has to sell the product. And how the industry decide this price? Through the intersection of demand and supply. So, we can say that under perfect competition, the firm are price taker. That means they accept the price that is being determined by the industry. Whereas in monopoly, the firm are the price maker, because firm and industry are same. There is single seller, and that seller is having a control over the supply, and that means that seller follow the independent price and output policy. So, we can say that under monopoly, the seller actually decide the price. That means they are known as price maker. So, perfect competition, they are price taker, whereas in monopoly they are price maker. Product. In perfect competition, all the firm are selling the homogeneous product. That means there is no differences in regard with the commodity that is sold by all the firm under the industry. So, all the products are identical, homogeneous in nature. That is why the price remains constant in perfect competition, because every consumer awares that what is the price of the product available in the market. So, irrespective any level of output, the price that is charged by all the firm remains constant for the homogeneous product they are selling in the perfect competition. But under monopoly, the product having no substitute. That means under monopoly, the seller is ultimately controlling the supply of the product. he alone controls the supply of the product, and he is selling the product that does not have close substitute available in the market. That means whatever is the product that is being sold by the seller in the market, the buyer has to accept, because they are not going to get any other goods in the market. So that means no close substitute is available for the product which the seller is selling in the market under monopoly. Next point, basis, that is entry and exit of firm. Perfect competition. In perfect competition, there is no barrier for the entry and exit of the firm. That means any firm can enter the industry and any firm can leave the industry. There is no restriction that you have to stay in the company. Stay in the company means you have to stay in the industry, or you cannot leave the industry. It is totally on the wish of the firm how long they want to continue within the industry. So there is no barrier for the entry and exit of the firm under industry and perfect competition. But there is strict regulation and barrier for the firm to enter in the industry under monopoly, because in monopoly there is a single seller, and that single seller itself is creating the industry under the monopoly. So if any seller wants to enter in the monopoly, this market strictly prohibit the entry of any new firm in the industry. That is why there is barrier for the entry of new firm within the monopoly, and there is no exit because that single firm itself is the industry. So that definitely puts a barrier or restriction or prohibition for entry of a new firm in monopoly. Price discrimination. Under perfect competition, concept of price discrimination does not exist. Why? Because under perfect competition, it is the industry which is deciding the price. That means it is the industry which will decide the price, at what price all the firm need to sell their homogeneous product. So the chances of price discrimination never exist in the perfect competition. Whatsoever is the price decided by the industry, all the firm within the industry need to sell the product at same price, because every consumer have a perfect knowledge when they are in perfect competition market. That means they know that this is the price prevails in the market. So you cannot increase or decrease the price, because if you are going to increase or decrease the price, definitely they will shift to the other firm. So that means due to presence of perfect knowledge on the part of the consumer, the price discrimination is not possible under perfect competition. But under monopoly, there is discrimination in regard with the prices charged by the monopolist for the various goods and services. That means under monopoly, price discrimination concept exists only under this market. Why? Because there is single seller, that single seller controlling the entire market in regard with the supply, in regard with the prices. So when he is alone controlling the entire market in regard with supply, so he has full control. So he can charge different prices from the different customer for the same product. That means price discrimination exists under monopoly market. Profit in long run. In long run, under perfect competition, the firm enjoy normal profit. Why they enjoy normal profit? Because there is no barrier for the entry and exit of the firm. Any firm can enter or exit the industry. Suppose if in long run the firm are making a supernormal profit, so other firm will get attracted towards the industry and they will join the industry. Now what will happen? The supply of the commodity will increase, but the demand remains same. So supply is high, demand is same. In order to sell the extra supply, you have to lower down the prices. Again, your supernormal profit is converted into normal profit. If suppose in long run, you are earning a losses, loss-making firm will leave the industry. Now what will happen? The demand is same, but the supply goes down. Why? Because the firm exit from the industry. Now demand is this and supply is this. So price will rise up and your loss is again converted into the normal profit. This is the reason why perfect competition earn only normal profit in long run, because of the no barrier in regard with entry and exit of the firm. But monopoly firm basically enjoy the supernormal profit, because in long run all the factors have become variable. It is possible to make changes as per the demand. So there is strict barrier for the entry of the firm under industry. So they will earn supernormal profit in monopoly market. Demand curve. The demand curve of perfect competition is perfectly elastic. Why perfectly elastic? The diagram is just like, if you remember, that means P is equal to AR is equal to MR. That means irrespective of any level of output, the price remains constant. That is why it is perfectly elastic. A small change or big change, or in fact no change in price, will brings an infinite change in the quantity demanded. And your average revenue is parallel to the x-axis, or it is horizontal to the x-axis. But the demand for the monopoly is inelastic. That means it is downward sloping. Downward sloping indicates that you have to reduce the price in order to increase the demand. And that is why AR moved downward from left to right, indicating the relation that you can sell more only when the price will get reduced. So this all about the differences between the perfect competition and the monopoly. Concept and definition of discriminating monopoly. Discriminating monopoly is one of the important concept of the monopoly. Discriminating monopoly means discrimination. Discrimination on what basis? Discrimination on the basis of price. Price of what? Price of product, price of goods, price of services. Discriminating monopoly means charging different prices for the same product from the different customer. That means this is the pen, this pen remains same, but maybe the monopolist is charging different prices for this product. For this product means this pen to each and every other consumer. Maybe he is giving this pen to Mr. X at rupees 10, B to 20, C to 30, E to 40. That means this pen remains same, the quality of pen is same, everything is same, but you are charging different prices from the different customer. So this concept is known as discriminating monopoly. And why discrimination is possible? Because the seller has a full control and seller know that no other close substitute of this pen available in the market. So he has a full control over the supply, and full control over the supply means he can charge whatsoever price he wants to charge. So that is why discrimination exists under monopoly. So in one line we can just say discriminating monopoly means discrimination on the basis of the price in regard with goods and services from different customers. So according to Mrs. Johns Robinson's, the act of selling the same article produced under single control means single seller, at different prices, just I discussed with you people, to different buyers is known as price discrimination. It is also known as discriminating monopoly, or it is price discrimination. In the words of Stigler, price discrimination may be defined as the selling on two or more prices for an identical commodity. That means this is the one article you are charging the different prices from the different customers. This is known as discriminating monopoly. Causes of price discrimination. Why this price discrimination exists actually in the market? What are the reasons behind it? The first is because of purchasing power or capacity to pay differ from customer to customer. As we know that every individual has its own buying capacity, purchasing power capacity. The income of the people differ, their lifestyle differ. So their buying capacity is different, and monopolists know that there are number of buyers in the market and all the customers have different buying capacity. So as per their buying capacity, they charge the price according to it. A person who is able to pay high, they will charge a high price from them. A person who is able to pay less, they will charge less price from them. Next, it is due to geographical differences of the customer that act as the basis for price discrimination. That means we know that all the people does not locate at one particular place. There are large number of buyers, and all buyers are at different places. So it is the geographical reason is responsible for charging the price discrimination. Some people may be living in the remote area, some may be in the metropolitan. Geographical condition or geographical situation of the customer will help in charging the discrimination. It is the elasticity of the demand that helps in creating and charging price discrimination. As we know that elasticity of demand is also responsible for price discrimination. Every commodity has different elasticity. Some are elastic and some are inelastic. If the product is elastic, that means of any change, any small change in price will bring a big change in quantity demanded. And inelastic means whatsoever in the change in the price, it is not going to bring a lot change in the quantity demanded. So that means for elastic product, they will charge less price, and for inelastic product, they will charge high price. Next, to sell the goods at low price when its stock is in large number. That means when they have a large supply, in order to reduce, they have to lower down the price. To enter into the new and different market, the monopolists charge low price for the product. Sometime if you really want to enter into the new market, you will enter by charging a low price for that product. To utilize the optimum capacity of plant so as to accept and execute the particular order at low cost. So all these reasons are responsible for charging the price discrimination by the monopolist. Types of price discrimination. There are many: personal price discrimination, geographical price discrimination according to use, class price discrimination according to time, discount price discrimination. Personal price discrimination, that means at personal level, the monopolist charges different prices from the different customer for the same product. So it totally depends on the personal level between the monopolist and the customer to whom they are providing their service. For example, doctor charges different fees from different patient as per their paying capacity. Second, geographical price discrimination. This discrimination exists due to because of the location of the people at different area. If you are locating in a metropolitan, if you are locating in a semi-urban area, or you are locating in a remote area, so all your geographical differences will arise a price discrimination. For example, a movie ticket might cost more in a big city than in a small town, even though it is the same movie. You know that maybe you are in a remote area and you are watching one movie and that costs you 100 rupees, and the same movie you are watching in some high metropolitan city and that costing you 500. Movie is same. Due to because of the geographical differences, there is price discrimination. Price discrimination according to use. That means there are commodity which can be used for various purposes, and depending upon the purpose for what it is used, the price is charged differently. That means if suppose this is the product and this product can satisfy 1, 2, 3 wants, satisfying every want they will charge different prices. For example, a printer might cost more for the business than for personal use because business might be willing to pay more for the extra feature or reliability. Or you can say electricity board charges different prices. Electricity is the main element, but the price for the agriculture and for the commercial purpose and for the domestic purpose is different. Class price discrimination, that means as per the classes, that means different groups like student, senior, military personnel. That means in society there are various classes of people, there are various groups of people, and this group will decide the price discrimination. So when price discrimination on this basis, it is known as class price discrimination. For example, a museum might offer discounted ticket to student but full ticket to adult. For example, when you take a small child, the fare charges for the small child is different for the fare charges for the adult one. Price discrimination according to time. When the time changes, price discrimination automatically exists. For example, when you purchase a ticket at the 11th hour, it will cost you high, and if you book a ticket prior 2 months before, it will cost you less. That means ticket is same. Due to because of the difference in the time, there is discrimination in the price, and that is known as discrimination. Discount price discrimination, that means here the discrimination on the basis of discounts that is given by the monopolist to the different customer. As you know that when there is sale, when it is summer sale, winter sale, so if you are providing the different discounts, so on that discount basis you are discriminating the price being charged from the different customer. For example, a store might give coupons to loyal customer or offer sale to clear out the old inventory. Condition for price discrimination. What are the conditions for which price discrimination exists? Difference in elasticity of demand, differentiated product, ignorance of buyer, legal sanction, existence of monopoly, transportation cost. Difference in elasticity of demand. As I already discussed with you people, every product has elasticity. Might be some product elastic in nature, might be some product are inelastic in nature. Due to because of the elasticity, price discrimination is possible. If the product is elastic, that means you will charge less price. If the product is inelastic, that means you will charge high price. Differentiated product. Differentiated products are the products that perform the activity that provide the similar services. They are identical everywhere, but somewhere they are differentiated from each other. Their service they are performing, that is same. For example, differentiated product may be soap. So there are various types of soap in the market. Lux, Breeze, Dove, all are soap, all are bathing soap. But the important thing is that they are differentiated on the basis of brand, labeling, ticket, branding, all that thing. In the same manner, differentiated products, they are the condition for price discrimination. Ignorance of the buyer. Sometimes it is not possible on the end of the buyer to have a complete detailed knowledge of each and every product available in the market. So they are ignorant about the quality, about the feature, about the availability of product, about its price. So ignorance of the buyer actually create a price discrimination by the monopolist. If you have a good knowledge, exact knowledge, nobody can cheat you. But if you are ignorant to it, definitely you will be cheated by the monopolist or by any other firm. Legal sanction. Discrimination is also legally sanctioned by the government. For example, Electricity Board charges less for domestic purpose and high for commercial purpose. It is the government who is saying. So when it is legally sanctioned by, that is also a base for price discrimination. This is the most important existence of monopoly. Price discrimination is only possible under monopoly market. If there is no monopoly market, price discrimination is not possible. Transportation cost. Transportation costs are also responsible for price discrimination. If two people are situating at two different places, higher is the transportation cost involved in moving the goods to that respective places. It will base for the discrimination. For example, when you go to Delhi and you buy something from the Delhi, you get the product at a cheaper rate. But when you buy the same product to your places, you will buy somewhere costly. That means they will add a transportation cost and they will include in the price. That means transportation costs are also the basis for the price discrimination. Thank you so much. In today's lecture, we had studied in detail about the difference between the perfect competition and the monopoly, the new concept that is discriminating monopoly, what are the causes for the discriminating monopoly, what are the various types of monopoly, what are the conditions when this discrimination is possible. So discriminating monopoly talks differences in the price that being charged by the monopolist from different customer for the same products. So I hope you have understood this concept of discriminating monopoly. We'll be meeting again in the next session with some new topics. So thank you so much for today's lecture. Hope you learned a lot. Have a good day.